What's up, guys? This is Beasley.
Swear.
Jeez.
Swear.
Alright.
That's smashing intro.
Smashing
That's how
Three,
excited we
20.
are for this E3 this year.
Exactly,
Alright.
exactly.
Okay, welcome to Entertaining Diversion's E3 coverage. This is our reactions to day one. Well, sort of day one. I mean, EA was on day one, but I can see you smiling. All right. So yeah, as I said, I'm Beasley. We've also got on this side, that side, we got Matthew. We also have Kayla.
Oh, yeah.
AKA.
Nods. I'll go to it. AKA. Ooh, easy.
There you go.
And of course, we have the Shawnee. So we've just finished watching the last press conference for day one, which was
Devolver
Digital, which
Much
was
to
something.
Beasley's disdain.
Anyway, but we're going to work our way through from the first one right through to what was just gone through. So
Where it all began.
We like
where
video
it
games.
all began. So EA.
EA.
We start with them announcing the Battle Royale for Battlefield 5.
They
And
do.
then we kind of end it with Devolver jokingly announcing their Battle Royale.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fantastic turn of
Yeah.
events.
So,
Yeah,
Who
nobody's
here
surprised.
All right, let's start. Who here watched EA?
yeah, boy.
Nope.
God,
I watched
boy.
snippets of stuff from EA,
Oh, yeah,
but I
yeah.
didn't watch EA.
No, okay,
So
right.
I watched it live.
Okay.
From last year, watching that really tall guy talk about FIFA for like a legitimate 10 minutes, I decided I wasn't gonna commit myself this year.
genuinely like to talk about sports games far too much.
So I think this year they didn't talk about sports stuff too much.
Oh.
They made everything else boring.
It was definitely a part of it, but I feel like it was shorter than usual. They spent a lot of time talking about Anthem, so that took up a big part of it, and then showing the mobile game was a big part of it, which just was like
Yeah.
not necessary to do live gameplay where they brought out people on stage and had a multiplayer set up and they had shoutcasters talking over the gameplay, and it felt like it went for a while.
mean-
They showed it's an RTS game. They showed like the whole match play out. So yeah, it was
Do
something.
you feel that like this, and this was happening across all the conferences so far? Is that do you feel that the almost, well, it is faked. I don't care what anyone says. Like gameplay, people playing, talking stuff takes away from actually the game, because a lot of it just seems very.
Well, this was definitely fine in that sense. It's just nobody wanted to watch a mobile game. People complained about it last year with Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
They were like, how can we top that this year?
Yeah.
A mobile game. I'd
Yeah.
have rather watched the full Battlefield match like we did last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was at least something people care about.
Yeah.
So anything you would say was a standout in the EA press conference? I forget the fact that it was like watching paint dry.
I definitely
yeah,
thought
obviously-
they started strong.
I was gonna say, obviously, like, yeah, the Battlefront stuff was cool. It wasn't really standout because they just skimmed over it like
Yeah,
it was
they didn't
nothing.
show us anything.
Although they're like the characters and stuff that they announced, like,
You're
I mean,
excited
I'm
to
excited.
play as Grievous?
You know that Clone Wars is my favorite.
It's cool that they're spreading out with that now. Like the
Yeah.
first game, it was just original trilogy, and this they're going into.
Can you
everything,
play as
so.
Count Dooku?
Yes,
Yeah.
Count Dooku.
Oh my god!
So the ones they've announced are General Grievous, Count Dooku,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, and Anakin Skywalker.
Oh my god! I want to play as Christopher Lee so bad.
I want to play as Hayden Christensen.
Oh jeez. So it looks like them. Like they
I hope that there's sound people
like
that you can
it's
play
their.
as. Like,
I didn't get a chance to watch any of the EA
Java.
stuff really. Is it like? Does it look like them? Is what I'm saying.
They didn't show.
Oh, they didn't show. They just told you that.
Just said that they were coming.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see one.
None of the Star Wars stuff they showed anything because they announced a Respawn's game now that EA have purchased them. And
Yeah.
they just said it was called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, set between episodes 3 and 4.
Yeah.
We don't have anything more to announce at this time, really.
And then yeah, so the only exciting thing that I found all their like indie games and stuff like that were pretty cool that they were announcing. Like, you know, Sea of Solitude and then Unravel 2 was a pretty cool
Which I
announcement.
think was one of those available now announcements. So
Yeah.
that's cool. And it looks fun. Like the co-op looks interesting. So
Yeah, no, it looks like it'll be
I
pretty
mean,
interesting.
as much as and this what worries me with any game when they're talking about it with oversaturation. I'm excited for Anthem, but I don't want to see any more of Anthem.
Yeah, I think Anthem's going to be good. Like, I think they've shown it at how many E3s have they shown it at?
This
now?
is their
Is it the third?
It's the second or third, yeah. So
But
it's
they've
not been
also
too bad.
but they've also released other little bits and pieces over the last couple of years. So it's kind of I don't want to be oversaturated with it.
I think them announcing the release date is so soon. I really don't think it's that bad. We've had far worse. Like,
Yeah.
Nah,
first
100%.
showings of a game.
but yeah.
I think it's exciting, like how they're taking like the formulas and stuff from other EA games, like Dragon Age and stuff like that, and they're kind of putting those kind of mechanics in there.
Yeah, BioWare do good games. So.
Yeah, and like I have faith in BioWare, even though after
So-
Mass Effect and stuff like that.
I guess to sort of just summarize what the feeling is generally is that what they had to announce was fine for the most part. Their conference was boring as hell.
It could have been half the length. The only other thing I was semi-excited for, not that I'll play the game, was they announced that the next FIFA game is coming to Switch.
Oh, good.
Which, even though I don't play them,
That's good.
shows that they're still going to support that console. Like, the Wii U, I feel like, was officially dead when EA finally said, look, we're not putting FIFA on it anymore because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Switch is doing well and EA have got this custom engine built specifically for Switch for FIFA, and that they're still going to keep working on that, and it's going to have a lot more features than last year's version did. You couldn't play online with friends in last year's version. It was just random.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in the new one and all that. So yeah, I don't care about that game.
Yeah.
but it's cool that
It's cool they actually like I mean, yeah. I personally am on the side of like, okay, the FIFA thing could just be like, okay, this is what we're adding. Take a 5-minute thing to talk about it, and then that's it. Like, there's not really needs to be that much necessity, especially when it's like a sports game. If it was like, if they just showed, okay, this is the next one, like every year, if they just showed like a quick couple-minute clip, then I'd be pretty much satisfied. And then like every couple of years, be like, okay, this is a big new mechanic we're putting in. Whereas every year they're like, oh yeah, we're adding this, as if it's a big significant thing.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
do tend to over exaggerate. Like, yeah, as you said, if it was a huge development, you wouldn't mind. But to go every year and try and make it sound like it more than it actually is a little bit full on.
I just don't think FIFA fans are watching E3.
No. FIFA, no, I don't think any sports fan is going to get up at 3:30 a.m. Especially like mostly it's obviously an Australian sense, obviously. But if you're getting up at 3:30 a.m. for a sports game, you're an
There's
idiot.
other countries, Sean. There's other countries.
Well, still, you know what I mean? Like nobody's going to go out of their way.
No.
If the only video game you play is FIFA and NBA, you're usually doing other things.
There's
in your life.
Hardcore FIFA gamers hear about FIFA and buy it. It comes out around the same time each year, and they don't tune into.
Yeah,
all
pretty
of those,
much.
all of those sports games, like are like that. They all are periodic. They come out at the same time every year. So yeah, people
They buy a
won't-
couple of games a year. They buy the FIFA, the NBA, Call of Duty. Like they
Pretty
always
much.
land at around the same time, and they just pick those
Yeah.
up. And it's not,
Yeah, no, like obviously there are like we're not trying to just generalize, but it is a thing.
There
you
was
can
no,
generalize,
there was
basically.
nothing that was you know no one. You can't tell me anyone walked out of the EA press conference going, "Wow!" Like it was
I
just.
thought last year's was way better.
Yeah.
And I wasn't crazy about
No,
last year's. But
I mean,
would
EA's
like to go back to that.
EA's got a very methodical way about going about their press conferences, so it doesn't give you that wow factor for the most part.
Yeah. I was excited to hear about Star Wars, like at the very least. I was like, EA have the exclusive license for Star Wars games, like let's hear something cool, and that was basically nothing. So but they apologized about they sort of apologized about the fumble with Battlefront 2, sorry. And at the end, as a company, they talked a bit more about how they need to kind of repair the damage done between themselves and their consumers. So hopefully EA are trying to kind of repair their image a bit.
Yeah. See, like I think EA. I mean, I'm just kind of getting a general idea of what, because obviously Ubisoft's is obviously over the top every fucking year.
Yeah.
Whereas pretty much we just need a perfect E3 where it's like somewhere between EA's like just getting to the point, and then Ubisoft's like, let's fuck around for like 20 minutes and then show you 8 celebrities you don't care about. Which we'll get. I'm sure we'll.
Are we going to get Aisha Tyler again?
Aisha Tyler's there every year.
I'm looking forward to Ubisoft.
I like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I do like
They
Ubisoft.
support Nintendo so much.
I just don't want Jason Derulo to be on the stage again. That was a painful thing last year. Anyway.
Ubisoft is tomorrow.
They're like, oh, we're announcing a Just Dance. Let's put a fucking like concert of somebody you don't care about on the stage.
Oh, they do that every year, so that's a guarantee.
All right. Well,
So
yeah, that sort of to summarize everything for EA, doesn't it?
yeah,
All
pretty
right.
much.
Well, so next was
Microsoft.
Minecraft. Jesus.
Minecraft or something.
Minecraft's off. Microsoft's press conference,
Yes.
which obviously nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, a little under. Hour 45.
It was good.
Waking up bright and early for that.
I mean, before we break everything down, I found that their conference was fine. I didn't find anything like, you know, but it was. That's a good way to.
I enjoyed their conference quite a lot.
I enjoyed it.
Was
there
good.
was just nothing like for me going, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, there was
But like
one for
overall,
me.
really good.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
There was one for me, but not a major blur. But
I was
But
just
even then, it was just Battletoads.
yeah,
It wasn't like they went, here's some gameplay, here's what it's going to look like.
I was just excited because
It's
they
like
said co-op
Battletoads.
too. I was like, hey, co-op Battletoads.
Yeah,
Oh,
but Battletoads was cool. The only thing which I was like, I remember where I was just like, it was more of like a proud papa moment when I was like, oh, Undead Labs has been like bought by Microsoft.
that was good. That was good.
And
That
like
whole
when they
segment for like
that whole
hardcore
segment
fans
when they
is
just like, oh yeah, we're bought this company, like we were like, yeah,
But
it was really awesome.
like I was
to see.
saying to Matt, like leading when it got to that moment and the conference was on, I said to Matt, it's something that Phil Spencer's been talking about for the last 12 months. Is that he's aware they've got they've got all this amazing development with their hardware and all their online stuff and everything else, and that's working really well, and their backwards compatibility and everything. But he's openly acknowledged that their first party stuff is just completely
it's easy for him to
lackluster.
tweet about it. It's another thing to be on stage
Exactly.
at E3
So
and say,
they've literally
we've
gone.
doubled
We've
our
doubled down and
studios.
gone
Yeah.
for twice as many. Acquired some amazing people. Like
Ninja Theory was really
Undead
surprising.
Labs, and Ninja Theory.
Because I think
And then opening their own studio as well. That was
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah,
which got me.
like and that's what I mean. So it shows to me, a complete commitment to we're going to try and fix this problem. We've got everything else happening in the background, but this is a major problem. Here's our solution.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll fix Xbox One too much. I think it's a bit late for that, but it means they'll be prepared for their next.
All we
console,
need is Sony's E3 conference for the big boy himself to come out on stage and be like, yeah, we're going to do crossplay with Xbox, and then everyone will be happy.
yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're working with Nintendo so closely is nice.
Yeah.
Like
And-
I said to Beasley while we're watching at the last Inside Xbox, they specifically talked about how Paladins is going to have crossplay with Switch.
Yeah, it just
But
it-
Paladins in general though, that whole thing where it's a free game everywhere except for on Switch at the moment. Is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's a little bit annoying, but I mean, when you look at why that's the case,
I mean, of course.
I mean, not so much why that's the case. You should have the option, but the fact that $45 gets you a bunch of stuff that you otherwise don't get. In the game. Like it's definitely worth the money for people that are going to play it, but for people who aren't sure and have never played it before, like that's a big asking price for a game. That's free elsewhere.
Exactly.
But I think that'll probably only last a few weeks to a month or so. And
Yeah,
it'll go
I
free to play,
100% agree.
Hopefully that doesn't take too long.
Yeah, so no, that yeah.
So yeah, Microsoft E3 things. So the first thing they opened up with was Halo.
Yes.
Which my stream fucked up when I was watching it at home and I didn't get to see. So I saw the first bit and I was like, I get it. I bet it's a Halo game.
It was a
Yeah, it was-
sizzle reel kind of
It
thing.
was
yeah.
they didn't show it was Halo until the end though, so there was a lot of like just generic looking but really nice looking like landscapes
it
and
was
stuff
really-
and kind of the rock formations and I'm like, oh maybe I don't
See, that was like I
sure.
just it loaded up a little bit and I was like, I was like watching it and I was like, oh, it's Halo, and then it just crashed and I was like, oh fuck, who knows what it is now? And then like I just like it reopened and I was like, oh, it is Halo.
Master
Like,
Chief. It cuts to Master Chief standing there holding his helmet, but you don't see his head. And it was like, oh yeah, this is Halo cool.
Will we
Not
ever
called
see his
Halo
head?
6, which was surprising. Halo Infinite. So,
because they're gonna make an infinite number of games and an infinite amount of number
It's a
of money.
game, it never ends.
so I assume it's Halo 6 and not a spin-off. The fact that Master Chief was in
Yeah.
it makes me think it's
Yeah.
definitely
I mean,
Halo
if we
6,
get
but-
a game with the multiplayer as good as Halo 5, then I'm happy because that multiplayer was solid.
Yeah, definitely.
Then we have, this isn't really in order, but Gears of War, obviously. So the big Gears of War reveal, that was the best thing in the fucking world to watch. When they just like, they slapped that logo on and there were so many people cheering and then like it cut through and that fucking pop head popped out. And I've never heard so many excited people crash so fucking quickly in my life. It
Yeah, that
so
was the
funny.
only reason I kept watching it because I do not care about Gears of War.
Yeah.
I was like, we really don't need an announcement of another Gears of
God.
War so soon after getting 4. And then they showed it was that pop thing. I was like, alright, that's interesting. I want to see what it is. And then they didn't show it.
The best thing was because they were like, and then everyone was like, you could tell everyone was just kind of like, I guess, whatever, it's fine. And then they're like, yeah, but don't worry, we're bringing out another Gears of War game. for mobile. For fuck's sake!
It was PC. It was that Tactics one.
Yeah,
that looks
yeah.
amazing. Looks like XCOM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really
That
want to
looks
play
like that, and that looked really cool. And everyone was like, because I kind of said about mobile and stuff like that, and everyone was like, "Ooh, what the fuck are you doing?" And then they were like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, here's an actual Gears of War game."
And then actually didn't look too bad. Like, I
It
don't
looked
care about Gears of
decent,
War, but
and
the
like
story
it looked
interesting
actually
and-
story based. And I'm pretty sure, is that fucking Raul which was in it? I swear it was Raul's voice. You listen to that fucking
Throughout the
trailer
press
again.
conference, there are a lot of voices that I was trying to pick up. I'm like, who is that? What's
It's like one of the voices. Like look back at that trailer. I swear it sounds
Don't-
like Raul Coley.
Well, don't quote me on this, but didn't Greg Miller tweet something about Raul and that game at some stage in the last 24 hours?
I'm not sure.
I vaguely remember, or someone. I'm pretty sure someone from Kinda Funny actually did, and I think it was Greg, and he mentioned Raul. So I don't know. Maybe it is.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, it sounded like exactly like him. And then like I opened up Twitter at the time because I was live tweeting it, and like every single fucking comment was just like, "Is that Raul? Raul, is that you?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was great.
So after Halo, they showed the trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which we've seen the trailer before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we didn't really get anything new
No.
from
It's
that.
still
That-
like
that
like
looks
again,
good.
It
I wanna play
watching
the first
more. I think a game like Ori with that kind of game, it's like you don't really actively seek out a trailer for it, but if you just see it on a reel or something like that, you'd be like, "Oh, that actually looks really cool."
Yeah,
I would be
they-
really keen to play that.
it wasn't one of the ones they like. There was the trailer and move on, which we've seen that game enough times, so they didn't
Yeah.
need to linger on it.
Yeah.
Next was the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which looks pretty cool.
It was cool. I was like, it looked really God of War. I was like, okay, and then I was like, okay, it's Dark Soulsy as well, and I was like, oh, it's got like ninjas and stuff. That's pretty dope. Like,
Could be interesting.
It looks
Could
like
good
it'll be fun,
good to see
like-
more on it. I don't know if it's.
there's
one I'll
nothing which
necessarily
really
pick up, but-
drags me to it at
No,
this point because, like, obviously, like if you really like ninjas and stuff like that, you'd be like, hell yeah, I'm fucking buying this game immediately.
and people who like their games, I'm sure will jump.
I can almost guarantee that everyone that owns an Xbox that bought Neo, or everyone that doesn't have a PlayStation that didn't buy Neo,
Yeah, I don't know if it specifically says here. I can't remember if it was exclusive or not.
yeah,
But yeah, it looked good. After that was just the trailer for Fallout, which
Yeah.
they showed at the Bethesda conference
Yeah.
anyway, so we can cover that more then.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Then the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit,
which was awesome.
set in the Life is Strange universe without the Life is Strange name necessarily attached
Yeah,
to the title.
Yeah.
I mean, the second you saw that crumpled up paper background, I was like, oh, this is made by the fucking.
Yeah,
This is Life is
so
Strange.
just, like the artwork lined up, it was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Once again announced at an Xbox press conference.
Yeah, so like it's awesome to see that, like, yeah, they're getting that kind of recognition through Xbox.
And yeah, free, which was really surprising.
It was very cool. And shout out to my boy Sufjan.
After that was Near Automata coming out on Xbox finally.
Yeah, which is that was cool. I was like, I'm excited in that sense because like I know that you can almost like feel a lot of really hardcore PlayStation fans be like, oh, that's our game. You don't deserve that.
That was nice to see people tweeting that, awesome that people get to play a game that.
Yeah,
has been
exactly.
praised
Especially
for so
a game
long,
which was
so-
rated so highly and it was console exclusive, like being able to buy that on Xbox now. I don't know how well sales will do, but I still think it will go pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely need to play it. After that was a trailer for Crackdown 3. Nothing new announced there. We already had the release date.
We got to
going
see
in.
Terry
Terry
Crews
Crews in-game.
In-game. That
Ah,
was
Terry
the big thing
Crews.
for me. He was yelling so violently at everybody.
He was very-
It was a very violent trailer to
he's,
watch.
he's very mad. He's a very mad man.
Not because it was physical violence, but because like he was just yelling.
He was
at
just
you.
aggressively screaming at the camera almost.
It was like
it
it was like watching one of those Old Spice commercials, but it just kept going.
Is that the tagline for the game? Crackdown 3. The never-ending...
Pretty keen for that game.
Crackdown Infinite.
Glad it's finally got a release date.
Yeah, nah. I think a lot of people were kind of keen for that now. So
Playgrounds Forza game, Forza Horizon 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
That looks amazing.
Forza Horizon looked like the seasonal changing and stuff like that was just awesome.
As like I said, or like I tweeted out, as I'm not a car
I don't
game
think any of us really are.
I like
racing
a good,
person
like,
at
racing
all,
game, so-
and I was actually keen after watching that.
Well,
Looks
Forza Horizon 3 was the same. I remember seeing that the first time. I was like, wow, that made me care about a car game.
yeah,
So, and I played it a bit, and it is really fun.
and him coming out with his polo shirt on and his really fucking thick British accent. I was like, dude, you're about to either scam me for a bunch of money or try and get me to sign up for a fucking golf course.
My God.
You can see it. Like you look at him and you're like, yeah, that guy. He was the kind of guy who beat up nerds because they didn't have any money. But it, like, going back to it, the game does look really good. So.
Yeah, no, it looks
And the fact that it's like the amount of players that can play at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
it's moved from
which
the
is
4
awesome,
players
like-
or whatever it was to like a full.
It's like an open,
Yeah.
No, so no,
Like
look,
a car game MMO.
yeah.
It was like that was the thing I was thinking when I was watching it. I was like, they've just taken like a lot of what the crew was and like just adapted it to Forza. So it's like, oh, you don't have to play online, but it's like, here's a bunch of cool shit you can do if you do.
Because it looked like what Forza 3 looks like when you're driving around and you see other players, but they're not really them. It's just their car with their name above it.
Yeah,
Just kind of driving around on like set paths, like controlled by AI. But the fact that this one, every player you see is a real person.
Yeah, it made it like so much
amazing.
cooler.
How do you feel about Forza? Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, Kayla got a lot of the Microsoft information because like she didn't get up in the morning, so it's just like
Sorry.
that's fine. And then I just told her about
Oh, conference. Oh, no.
I only care about Star Wars stuff, and apparently there was hardly any.
No.
She would have woken
EA
up
has
to watch a
disappointed.
2-hour
Yeah, I've been
conference.
very disappointed.
But yeah, no, Forza looks good, though.
Yeah,
After that is Tales of Vesperia finally
yeah.
being released outside of Japan. It announced at the Xbox conference on Xbox, but it is coming out on PS4 and Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my favorite transitions. It just went straight from Forza and like talking about big car games. They're like, oh, you're a weeb? Here you go.
Even a Japanese game at an Xbox conference is nice to see because it's not.
And we got 2 this
Usually
year,
the
so
case,
that
so-
was...
Yeah, well, should be good. Division 2 finally announced properly.
Yeah.
Looks
Which
cool.
I'm sure we'll see a lot about that at Ubisoft. So
Yeah, I think so.
we'll get to hear Ash 12.
Enjoyed the first one. Didn't play it enough as I would have liked, but we
Yeah,
played it.
100%. I and watching it, and I think the scenery and just like everything about that game, it looked like it looked really interesting, like in the way it was set out and stuff like that. Like the world that it was in seemed a lot more interesting. It seemed like it had a lot more different like kind of biomes and stuff like that
Yeah.
as compared to the first edition, which was really cool, and I love the first
Loved the
edition. I played
setting,
a lot
yeah,
of it.
but just like the same all the way through.
Yeah, whereas this one being set in Washington, you've actually got some like lush green areas. Whereas in Division 1, it was just kind of like, oh, here's another like secluded
Another block of
city
buildings.
area. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I guess from our perspective, when we're playing games like multiplayer games and that, it's only
Generic.
recently in the last couple of years that we've all, for the most part, got the current gen consoles. I mean, I've now got an Xbox. Before that, you guys had 360s. I didn't have one. So it's good. It means we've been able to experience those games. So I think that's probably why I'm more keen, because I know that if you guys say, all right, we're going to get it on PlayStation, it's like, cool, we've all got that, or we've got a way of playing it. I guess that's the other benefit to some degree with the way Xbox does the Windows 10 Xbox One available on both. I've got a PC that can run it. So yeah, I guess that's what, because I didn't play Division. I don't think I ever played Division, did I?
no.
Well, you were planning on getting it. We were all going to, and then nobody but me and Sean got it. Kyle got into it late. We didn't really play with him by that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is so, and I think we find more time to.
And me and Sean only played it once.
We
It was
played
a
it-
big weekend of like staying up late playing it, which
And
we
we were
don't
like,
really do anymore.
it was like me
but
crashing over, and
Yeah.
like I had the TV on the floor.
That was
and
probably the
playing it.
last big like.
Yeah,
just come
So
over
I had that
with-
big session, then I played a couple sessions with my friend Lachlan, and that was pretty
Yeah, I
good.
played a little bit outside of that. I played with Kyle a real little bit,
Yeah.
but nothing compared to the one session.
Yeah, that one
we-
session where we were
played.
just thrashing it, and like it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
gonna
fun.
say,
Definitely
I vaguely remember you
makes me
playing
keen
it,
for the
but
sequel.
yeah. So no, that's good.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider trailer. Nothing more outside of that, but got to see gameplay, which was cool. But
Yeah,
I
and this
love that
one's-
franchise so much.
It's really cool to see the Shadow of the Tomb Raider stuff, because watching that, there was a lot more. Like, this was one of the tombs which I felt they've kind of missed in the last 2 reincarnations, where it was like
which is finally a Tomb Raider now.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's also set in that area where it was like there seemed to be like civilization, like a full civilization living in that area. Like it was actually close to like cities
Yeah.
and
And
stuff
it
like
looks
that.
like it's going to tie into the consequences of what she's doing.
Yeah, which is awesome, and like I guess like yeah, and then I was like, yeah, I was really excited because it was like yeah, you can actually see the consequences of her like ruining a full city like in this third world country or something like that, and it was like yeah, so like the full consequential kind of sense.
But
And, yeah.
I mean, the first one I played to death. The second one I'm going to try and finish before this one comes out. But I just like the progression of those games.
Yeah.
Overall, it's such it was such a good way to reboot the
And this
series.
is the end of that trilogy, I think. So I'm
Yeah.
looking for. It'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see how they reboot it after this.
When we play as Jonah for the next 3 games, it's gonna be great. Can't wait.
No, I want Grim to come back from the first one.
Grim ain't coming back, honey.
Then we got
Rest
the
in peace.
trailer for Session. That skate game looked. I thought it was gonna.
That
be
was
Skate
another one.
4,
So that was
but
the.
it's-
I was trying to remember the other place where my stream kicked out, and it was like between that. So I saw some guy skating around. I was like, "Oh, cool! They're announcing Skate," and then it dropped, and then I came in just after the trailer finished. I was like, "Okay, so it's a Skate announcement." Looked on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, everyone's just making a Skate ripoff." I was like, "Oh, I thought it was
It's
Skate."
from EA. I don't know if they really said how that ties in, but
Yeah,
maybe they just can't make
a lot
it
of people
Skate
were
game
saying
or
they're like,
something.
"Oh, we don't get to have Skate 4. We'll just make our own fucking Skate 4."
I think it's EA. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed it was EA, but it doesn't say. Then what do we have? Just Cause 4
Yeah,
got announced. Trailer looks similar to the last
it's
game.
just Just
Yeah.
Cause.
Yeah, everyone.
Actually,
knows what they're getting
this,
from it.
considering I own Just Cause 2 and all the DLC, and I've played it like a little bit. It was like, oh my god, the main character has like actual dialogue. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
he looks like an actual character this time around. Was the only thing I pulled. From
Yeah,
it,
which
but
I pulled. I was like, oh my god, they're actually caring about the character you play as. It's not just explosions again. Oh, what's the point?
we'll see how much that is in the.
Yeah,
actual game.
considering like the Just Cause franchise, the way they marketed the last one was like, oh yeah, you just get unlimited C4. They know exactly where they stand with that series. They're just like,
Yeah.
you just want to fucking go in there, kill things, and blow shit up.
Yeah. Next, they talked about the 2 content updates for Sea of Thieves. Well, they didn't talk about it.
Nah,
they
We got a
showed it.
trailer and
They
and
showed, they
months
pretended
and-
that there was actual dialogue in Sea of Thieves, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like,
Would have been cool if the actual game had.
yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like the acting and stuff like that, and the way that like the animations and stuff were done, I was like, this is really cool. And then I was like, all right, the game doesn't actually.
Their last
Yeah.
content update trailer was the same. Like it looks like it's going into story that the actual game doesn't do.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 5 was surprising.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Not a sequel to the reboot, but a sequel to the original series
Yes,
of games,
which was very cool.
Yeah, surprising. I thought they would have just continued
Which
on with the
again,
reboot, but-
my stream didn't cut out, but it glitched, and then I heard the same bit of dialogue twice, and I was like, "Is this supposed to be part of the trailer or not?" And I was supposed to ask, but I'm guessing it wasn't. So.
no.
I had to hear that girl say something about fucking killing demons and something like 3 times.
It reminded me of how different Dead Rising 3 looked to 1 and 2.
That's exactly what I got from it, and I got, and I don't know, I think it was just the way that they go out, they're like pigtails or whatever. I was like, is this
Yeah.
Lollipop Chainsaw like
Very gritty
inspired?
and,
Like it was like gritty, but with some
But
like weird kind of like,
not punky, but like they all work at a garage. And
yeah,
they're
it was
just
like yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's kind of like got that feel of like, oh hey, let's make a fun dumb game, like Sunset Overdrive kind of sense to it, where
Yeah.
it was like, yeah,
that
which
looks very different.
I don't
from
even think that
those.
genre even has its name. It just kind of exists.
What was Jump Force?
Jump Force was that was the anime thing, the one with Goku
right.
and fucking
Yeah.
I want to know
That's
what
weird.
that game is.
It's-
Like, is it an open world fighting game?
I
like
think it is
that
from what I
anime
can tell.
game on Vita is. That's the mashup. Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of open levels fighting, or is it a side on like?
Because it had like
fighting?
Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon Ball, Naruto,
Naruto, One Piece.
One Piece, and
Death
Death
Note.
Note.
And they introduced Death Note at the end, and I was like, how the fuck is this a fighting game if they're gonna put like Death Note in it? I can't wait to press A to write name down. Like,
We could see actual gameplay on that. I want to know what the actual game is going to be.
yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah, looked interesting. I liked the art style on it. If that is what the final version is
Yeah.
going to look like. Dying Light 2.
Dying Light
Yeah.
2, I was fucking like,
That-
I was so
that's
pumped
good.
because I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks like a really cool game. Like, what is it gonna be?
Yeah, it looks like a really cool game when he does the thing where it goes first person for the first time and he's like jumping off the side of the building. I was like, reminds me of Dying Light, but they haven't shown any zombies, so I don't think that's it.
Yeah, well, they
And
showed
then a little bit-
very
Very
small amount
little
of
zombies. Yeah,
which
barely
is
talked about it
fucking
at all.
Awesome, because like I know that a lot of people are saying about the saturated zombie like genre at the moment, and it was cool that like Dying Light was like, oh, people they were like, let's get people interested in this game, whoops, and not mention it's a zombie game until you realize it's Dying Light.
It looks like they're putting a big effort into what happens during the day and how you build out these
yeah, and like
communities, all the
making
decisions
a
you make.
consequential storyline because the storyline in the first game was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of like it had that Dead Island kind of sense where it was like, oh, it's a story for the sake of having a story.
It sits to the side so that you can just do.
You can just do whatever you want, and it is an open world game that you can just piss fart around in. And like, yeah, that's what I think Dying Light 2 did well, where it was like, okay, you got a story, and then it's like, okay, you've got consequences how this works.
Yeah,
this works,
I mean,
this
the
works.
example they used was the negotiating about the water. Yeah, like, and if
And
you
they
if
just
you
zoomed out and showed all the options.
yeah, and it was like that concept's really cool. Like, so if you go from one perspective, you get like the water is active and everyone can get it, and you can heal and whatever else. And the other option was
if you just like sell water on the black market,
yeah,
then
so you
there's
can make
like,
money that way. But then it ends up being
like all these dodgy people come from
Yeah,
out of
so
town to
you're
buy your
like,
water
"Ah."
and stuff like that. Yeah.
it's probably worth better financially, but then it's also more challenging because
Alright, get out of here, Mr. Fucking Politics. Alright, that's the next one.
So then, heading towards the end of the press conference, we had trailers for Tunic, Battletoads, and Cuphead.
I am so excited about Tunic. I know that sounds really
The
like
second they started playing it, I was like, "This is Zelda.
such
This
a-
is
it is-
it's Zelda for furries."
it's like Fox Zelda. But it looked good. It had a very Link Between Worlds sort of vibe.
Yeah, I as much shit as I gave it, like it actually does look kind of cool.
I will give that a go. You know, it looked good. I was keen on that one. What was the other one you said?
Battletoads,
Battletoads.
which we've already run
And
about.
Cuphead. Oh yeah, there's some
And
DLC.
Cuphead, I was really cool.
As much as I've not played Cuphead, I love that game style. It's just,
I haven't looked into. I was gonna say I haven't looked into
I think I
Cuphead
hate
yet.
it. I'm like,
No,
oh
I was
god.
gonna say I haven't looked into Cuphead yet. But was it a DLC or is it a new game? Because I don't think that was ever actually.
I think
said
it's.
at
I
all.
think it's I think it's a DLC.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Because they make it sound, and because then they go
I've got
and
it,
a new
yeah.
and a new character. Like then they're not gonna.
It's downloadable expansion.
Yeah, it's
the
expansion.
Delicious
Yeah.
Last Course is the name of it.
Yeah, I figured it was DLC.
Which
Just
is
the
cool.
naming of it made me think it was DLC. But
The other thing I was worried because they've got a third character now. Does that mean it's going to be 3-person co-op?
Possibly,
maybe.
maybe.
That was the other thing I was pretty excited
cool.
about. I was like, it'd be cool to be able to play that game with like make a game is slightly easier because it's fucking brutal.
Yeah,
So at that, the conference ends. Well, the Gears of War stuff, which we've already talked about,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the conference ends. But then
The Watch
one
Dogs
more.
3 thing happens, and then they bring in Cyberpunk.
which looks amazing. I groaned when I realized what it was because I wanted the one last thing to be Perfect Dark. And it wasn't. It
Yeah,
was
I still
Cyberpunk.
remember how hype you got yourself for that, which you definitely shouldn't have done.
No, the rumors leading up to it didn't help. No Fable, no Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
But finally got to see
Cyberpunk does
something
look
on Cyberpunk.
very,
It does
very
look looks
cool.
awesome.
And like CD Projekt Red, obviously, like they made Witcher and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who like Witcher like Cyberpunk stuff, so it just kind of
Yeah, so I've not played The Witcher because I just don't really care for another game set
that
in
length.
the length, but also like that. Like I already
Yeah.
played
You've seen Lord of the
plenty
Rings,
of like games set in that kind of style and universe.
Yeah.
Even like just Skyrim more recently because I only really got into that like in the last
yeah.
6-12 months, whatever it was.
Nah,
so I
100%.
just couldn't be bothered with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cyberpunk looks.
Cyberpunk looks like it's and like
And when you remind yourself watching that trailer that it is going to be like an open world like Witcher, like it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
it's gonna be like fully interactive, like full dialogue based as well. I was like,
gonna be
that
pretty
is
crazy.
pretty fucking exciting.
No, it looks good.
But yeah, no, I still when they started doing the hacker shit, I was like, are they announcing Watch Dogs 3 at the end of the Microsoft thing? Because like when you've having played Watch Dogs 2 recently, like it is very similar like kind of stuff at the start. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I was just reading all the little bits of writing coming up on screen. I saw CD there, and the first thing I thought was CD Projekt Red, but not still positive CD could mean anything. It's
Yeah.
computer code coming down, and then a little bit later, and I saw the word Red pop up, and I was like, all right, it's CD Projekt Red.
yeah.
It's Cyberpunk. So nice to finally see it.
Well, yeah, when it came up as the word red, I was like, oh, who knows what this could be. So
Yeah. And then that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And then we watched Bethesda's.
So, like I said, I think Xbox's conference was fine. It was fine. It was good presentation. Phil Spencer's very easy to listen to as well. Like he's yeah. And if you follow him on Twitter and that, like, he tries to be very transparent about stuff as well.
Yeah.
Which is what I appreciate about that. I've only just gone into the Xbox ecosystem in the last 12 months, and it's just, yeah, I've felt more at ease with what they're doing because they are so transparent about it, and so yeah, no, it's good, and it was positive, but nothing.
The other thing was they said that they're working on the next console.
Yes, they did. They did.
Announced,
They just sort of casually,
passively said, "Oh, next gen."
Smoothly just threw that in there and just kept going.
Yeah, that was 2 times next gen was mentioned. It was him saying, "Obviously, we're working on it. Should be obvious, but we'll say it anyway."
Yeah,
and then in Bethesda's them working on Elder Scrolls and Thingo for next generation
Starfield.
consoles. So.
That just quick shout out to Todd Howard for like openly roasting himself. Like
that was a highlight.
That
of that
segment
conference.
was that was a highlight of E3 for me. That was fantastic to see.
Yeah, so Bethesda. Let's go into the Bethesda stuff.
Rage 2 finally got to see gameplay.
Look,
awesome.
okay. Here's an opportunity. Kayla, how did you feel about the opening to the Bethesda conference?
It was something.
Oh yeah,
You're like, what is this? What is it?
so we got a weird concert from fucking Bethesda instead of Ubisoft this year.
And
as
something.
as her introduction to the first E3 thing she's ever like consumed openly, like just straight up watch an E3 conference, I imagine it was a good
Has
way to
that
start.
I was gonna say, has that set the tone for your expectations moving forward? I mean, we're gonna talk about Devolver Digital, which is a whole other. Like,
that was my intro, and then Devolver was my second intro. It was kind of.
I feel like as Bethesda went on, like it was a weird start, but as you got through, it just got more and more like trailer, interesting
I was gonna
stuff.
say once
they got the ball rolling, they were
the momentum was going.
I think they even knew that concert thing was a little bit weird, so they're like, let's just get fucking Rage out of the way.
Yeah,
like
I mean, Rage is a weird
trash
game,
about Walmart for a little bit, and then we'll just like openly, and like the pacing of everything was done really well, especially with the Fallout stuff. How it was little clip. Todd talking, clip, Todd talking, and it was just like it was a constant.
For a rare occasion, I was just like, in situations like that where I'm like, can we just get on to the next game? Like, I was just hanging on every word.
Exactly,
like,
because it was really interesting, and he kept talking about it.
I think the slower stuff they got out of the way at the start of the conference as well. So once they were done with Rage, they moved on to Elder Scrolls Legends and Somerset, which was not really new information, but just like get through kind of thing. And then from like, what was it? Doom Eternal onwards.
Yeah.
Doom
really
was smashing it.
Yeah, Doom looked good.
I was super excited.
Seems obvious, but then I was still surprised that we would get another Doom.
Yeah,
just because of how long it took them to make the last one.
I think what it is because they had the last one, then they re-released it on Switch, and then because of that Switch release, you kind of just assume it pushes them back again. But I guess they were working on the next one, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll work on the Switch port while we do this."
We'll be interested to see if at some point after the fact Doom Eternal does come out on. It'll probably be a Wolfenstein 2 scenario where they announce it, but say it's going to be out months after.
Months after, because obviously they just had to get everything rolling for other consoles before they could even start thinking about the Switch.
And I think they also outsource a lot of their ports, so they've got to wait till they finish the game and then they'll outsource it. So that was fun. Then they covered pretty quickly. They went through Doom Eternal, Quake, and Prey.
Yeah,
and just like
the Prey. I mean, the Prey stuff. I haven't played. I've played a little bit of Prey, but not lots. We did some for the channel ages ago.
Self-promotion.
What's that? What? What does that mean? I like that game. And I like there's a couple of things I was talking about expansion wise. Those modes look pretty good.
It sounds awesome.
That one, the second one, I can't think of the name of it. I don't know if you can find that on there. Where you go in and each time it goes in, if you die,
Moon.
Was it Moon something? Correct?
Yeah.
Walker,
Moonwalker,
Moon Hunter,
the Michael Jackson
Do you remember what
update.
So that was the expansion that comes out today.
Moon something.
And then that expansion is getting a multiplayer mode down the track.
Yes.
They're updating it with the multiplayer.
But yeah, no,
which will be VR compatible.
that I don't know if I could handle that game with like the googly things. What are they called? Mimics.
Procedurally generated dungeons, like something about that is just like really. I love that kind of thing, and that being part of Prey was like that's.
And then them bringing that back just with the new Elder Scrolls, like procedural dungeons.
And then it's like there's
really
like a roguelike thing where you just have to just keep pushing through, and then
how
once
long
you die,
can
it's
you
just kinda
survive
like,
in like this endless dungeon?
that
awesome.
I feel is an awesome direction because it takes away when you play Skyrim and stuff like that, and there's just all that kind of shit that you can just grab, and it's like, oh, I'll just lose it all. Like if I want, I can go around and grab it. It's like it's roguelike. You just go in, grab your fucking gold, and then piss off out of there.
And then the one downside being, like, I play mobile games here and there, so I knew I would play it, but like, how much time do I want to invest in a mobile game?
Yeah.
And then him saying we're gonna put it on everything.
And then they're like, oh, and if you do get it on everything else when it eventually comes out, you can just transfer your data straight over.
Which was also
that's awesome.
having that is always a good feature.
Oh, that was the same with the Elder Scrolls card game as well. They said that even when you play it on Switch and PS4 and stuff, all your progress will.
Yeah, which is like, and they're really putting a lot of effort into putting like the Bethesda not franchise, like just pushing that whole
signing in with that so that all your progress carries on. Thing. It's
Prey
such a
Typhon
nice
Hunter.
feature.
Typhon.
Typhon
So
Hunter.
Typhon Hunter is and then there was the Moon thing as well, which I can't remember what that was
Moon base.
called. It could actually be called Moon Base.
No, I don't know.
It's cool to see Bethesda doing so much on so many different platforms when it was only so many years ago they were strictly PC.
Yeah, which
and
is
then they put
super,
Morrowind on
and then
original
they're just
Xbox, and then
fucking
from there it's
firing
exploded.
everything, man. It's crazy.
Like
And
gone from a company so big they need their own press conference, and like all the games they're putting out are so good.
Yeah.
Well,
But
didn't
I
they
was
didn't they
pretty
say
keen
was
going
it
into this
Bethesda at the start said that they are
They're the
currently
number one
one
publisher.
in the world.
Yeah, like
That's just that's credit to them. That's such a short turnaround time considering some of these companies have been running 25 years plus. Then they're just and on console and and to be able to jump back in such a short time to do that is impressive.
and they're supporting everything.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
console, PC, mobile, VR, Switch. Like considering Bethesda have up until like previous to the Switch coming out never really done games for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Not
which
in a
is
great many years.
really fucking cool to see.
So
Nice. So
them
that's good.
supporting everything really well, and then Wolfenstein Youngblood, the co-op, it's like standalone
With the
and a
twin
smaller
daughter.
game, whatever
Yeah.
it's gonna be. Yeah, that looks good.
That seemed like it would be
Set in
pretty
the
cool game.
1980s.
Always like a good co-op shooter.
Yeah. Wolfenstein's a solid thing.
And then
It
from
was
there,
Moon Crash is what it was
Moon
called.
Crash.
Moon Crash,
I said
that's
Moon
the one.
Base. Close enough.
yeah, and then from there, well, it's obviously not in this list here, but they did the Skyrim on everything joke, which was funny.
The Elder Scrolls card game as well is going to Switch.
Yes.
That's the other thing that they announced.
I'm telling you, one day we are going to get Skyrim on a fridge.
When
I've
it
been
was
saying
like
that for
kind
a
of-
very long time.
I know, you have all come here to, see where we're going to put Skyrim next, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes dark, it goes to a trail. I'm like, oh, I thought it was joking, but they are actually going to show Skyrim being on something else. And then it cuts to that. I was like, oh my God.
There's this weird part of me when he was like doing it on the Alexa. I was like, holy fuck, I kind of want this.
Reminded me of like an old school, like text-based.
Yeah, like, can you imagine a
like-
whole old school text-based thing on like a Google Home or a fucking Alexa, man? That would be
God.
dope.
There'd be far too many tables being cleared.
The thing that annoyed me about that scene was he vividly threw his Switch on the floor, and that hurt my heart.
He did too.
When you think about that, you're like, oh my god, is it okay?
It's not okay. It's not okay to shit on Nintendo like that. You don't slide your Switch on the floor.
Yep, his Switch and his Xbox controller and his miscellaneous
Yeah, but
items.
the Xbox is at least durable. Like the controller.
We don't know. The Switch could survive.
Possibly.
Yeah, and then they went on to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Finally, actually talking about what the game is going to be rather than just
Yeah, like, and they put in a lot of heart and like a lot of effort into putting into that. And I went in because obviously Fallout 4, I think for anyone who played it, like, I know Caleb barely played a little bit, but you
I played only a little bit as well.
Yeah,
I played
so-
about 6-7 hours.
We-
I don't know how much you played.
I played less than that. I got stuck on like.
I
the
loaded
first
the
mission.
disc.
Yeah, it
No.
just.
it just didn't hit the bar with us, I think.
Yeah.
And it just didn't hit, like, it just wasn't exciting enough for us.
I don't know if for me it was necessarily the quality of the game, but also just the timing when it came out and me just not having the hours to invest in a game of that size. at the
And
moment.
I just don't think it
story-wise, it didn't really excite us.
It never really
going into it.
encapsulated that whole like Fallout old feeling of just like
The
exploring
lone wander, exploring.
because like that's the thing. It was like
wasteland
obviously
and-
with the settlements thing, it was like, oh yeah, let's make an exploring game, something which you're based 90% of the game in your hometown. Like, that's
Yeah, and then my biggest thing whenever I talked about the whole building aspect with people, I always said, I don't care about building things in a game where I can't share that with friends.
Yeah.
I just don't give a shit.
Exactly, which was then awesome because obviously what they brought in with
whole thing
76,
with
where they're like,
76.
build your thing and then you can
Build
just pack
anywhere.
it up and then put it back down wherever you like.
It's
And
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
no,
like much more multiplayer focused than I thought it was going to be in the way that even though you can choose to play it single player, not have nobody else there, and he really like made sure people
He
knew
made
that.
sure people knew that, which is really frustrating because I've seen a lot of people online being like, "Oh yeah, you said you're going to focus on single player. What is this multiplayer shit?" It's like he was stressing it so much in the conference.
I definitely didn't expect for when Fallout finally added co-op for it to be ingrained so much into the actual game itself. The fact that by default you go on there and there'll be just dozens of people just wandering around the map, and you can, you know, either similar to like when we played H1Z1, like you'll come across a person, it's like, is this person
Are they going to be a dick? Or are they
Yeah,
gonna
I was going to say
like-
I like that dynamic
Yeah,
though.
it's
It
really
adds a
awesome.
whole different facet to the game. I mean, for someone who has, I've played no Fallout at all. I'm definitely keen. I like the concept behind this game. So
looks amazing.
yeah, no, it looks
So
fantastic.
excited, so
so I
excited.
think that's something we'll definitely be playing
And
a lot
then
of.
the other most exciting thing about 76 is definitely the fucking those monsters. Those monsters,
Yeah,
and
they were
creatures that
good.
they've put into 76 look fucking awesome.
That one.
That bat,
Yeah,
the bat, yeah.
Yep.
And was that the game with the
the
sloth?
giant sloth
Like,
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
so
the
it
giant
was like-
sloth and the frog thing.
And
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
like-
Mothman looking creature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
there
the
was
swamp,
there was
like,
a huge range of just weird
The-
creatures.
They've
It
really
was good.
gone crazy
the
this
fact
time
they
around
actively
to
went
mix
out
it
of their
up
way
a
to be
bit.
like, okay, we've actually taken folklore from this area of like West Virginia and like adapted it to the creatures we're gonna have in the world. I was like, holy shit! Like
Those
this
killer
is
sloths.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Those killer sloths in
It's
West
like the
Virginia.
drop bears of America, basically.
Jeez.
No, that should be good.
But yeah, so that was awesome to see.
And then that was
That's pretty much it. Obviously, they went over like Elder Scrolls 6 got announced.
Yeah,
it. Well, I was going to say that's
6
about we got nothing out of it, and which we shouldn't at this point. It was
Yeah.
just like
It looked
was
fucking
panoramic
gorgeous,
view,
like-
and it was like
They showed the collector's edition for 76, talked about Elder Scrolls Blades, then teased the next generation with Starfield and
that.
and the new Elder
I'm
Scrolls.
interested. I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Starfield seems very, very cool to me. Like,
Yeah,
I think-
Starfield.
I'm excited.
Well, that
for
was the first thing I was like,
Just-
when they said they're going to create a new IP, I was like, oh my god. And there's like the first one they said in like 8 years.
No,
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 like
it's longer than that.
20
It's 25 or
something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah,
It's a crazy long time anyway.
because he's talking about his team,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Bethesda
yeah.
as a whole.
I just medically went
Yeah.
just like in general.
Bethesda
like,
as
new
a whole,
IP.
it's like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
But, yeah, just Bethesda Game Studios, and they primarily just do. They did nothing but Elder Scrolls until he asked. He said, like, I want to make like post-apocalyptic game. I would love the Fallout license to do that
Yeah.
because nobody's using it at the moment. And then apparently, like 12, 24 months later, somebody got back to him and like, we got it. We got the Fallout license.
It's like, yeah.
The rights to it, like they bought that off of Interplay or whatever. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's really cool
to
yeah.
finally see what that team can
Well,
do
yeah.
outside
Yeah.
of those two settings.
Exactly. Well, like, the thing is, like, I can 100% compare. Like, even though Bethesda
Your imagination just kind of goes crazy. Like as soon as it comes to space, it's like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like-
It's left it very open. It's like, oh, what? I think
And
any
that's
angle
that's
with
the thing I think of, and it's like, well, the big like genres which they kind of like they jump straight. Like fantasy is such a wide genre, and they've managed to like create their own huge lore and like
So
own
much.
universe in that
Yeah.
with the Elder Scrolls. And then it's like, okay, post-apocalyptic
Post.
worlds. So that's like kind of taking like a modern genre and then just forming that into its own like, and they made their own universe out of that, and it's really cool to see that. And it's like, okay, space, like that can just take a whole nother fucking level, because it's pretty much like they've taken really far in the past like fantasy genre, then they've
Yeah.
taken like modern to a degree genre
Yeah.
with
Ish,
Fallout, and then
yeah.
it's like, okay, let's just fucking just go straight for the future, man. Like let's just go as hard as we can and like try and create this awesome lore. And I think like this is where we're going to see a huge amount of potential for them, like creating new alien races and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and seeing like yeah, like you said, like your brain just goes insane. We're like, holy shit, are we going to be able to just like choose an alien race and like go around and
it barely
explore
shows
the universe?
anything. So like, yeah, gameplay wise, what are they going to do? And then art wise, what are they going to do? Because the trailer doesn't even really give us anything.
No.
It just shows the start, like that ship, which like opens
Yeah.
up like one of the Nova Corps
Yeah.
ships from
Yeah.
fucking Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
And then like the planet, and that's it. And I was like, "Fuck, I don't even care." I'm sold. I'll buy it. Like,
No, it was.
They've got a good track record, so we trust them.
yeah.
Trust in you, Bethesda.
And then Fallout Shelter coming to PS4 and Switch was kind of how they.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
that was really cool. I was like, because they said it was exactly 3 years. Well, not exactly,
Yeah, it's the
3
anniversary
years
of like
for
3 years since it
Fallout
came
Shelter.
out.
So they're like, fuck it,
Like
let's
100,
bring it out and everything.
120 million users, and he said it's more users than any of their other games combined. Like that's just insanity. That's just a,
The fact that they've still been working on it after all these years,
Yeah.
and they keep.
but I suppose
updating
with
it
that,
and
with
putting it everywhere
120
and-
million people wanting, or any like over the course of that 3 years, like support it while it's there. You know, they're probably getting something out.
I
of it,
assume my
honestly.
progress isn't going to carry over, so I'll have to start again. But that's okay.
Yeah, they didn't.
never
Really,
know.
they didn't really say, did they?
No.
But given their track record with everything else, maybe it does.
So that's coming out tonight. So we'll
Yep.
hopefully find that out.
And then to wrap it up, we watched some Devolver.
So,
which,
so Kayla, give us your thoughts on Devolver Digital's
It
presentation.
was really aggressive.
What do you think of
It
the?
made
What do
me
you,
feel a bit bad about
I think-
maybe wanting to buy one of their games.
I think that the best thing about that as well is because like cause Kayla hasn't really ever watched an E3 conference before, and because it was making fun of so much
It
of
was like
E3
satire,
things,
yeah.
it was like really ripping into E3. So like without having any context, you're like, are they all like this? Like, are they always this mean to each other?
Do they always kill the host at the end?
oh
of the
look, I can't wait until they bring Reggie out on the Nintendo one and he just goes off. Like,
But yeah,
was
no,
cool,
it was cool. Like that, the games that they announced, even though it was like fucking 3 of them, like that, the one with the banana or whatever the fuck it was called, my friend Pedro or something. Like that?
Pedro.
yeah, my friend Pedro.
Switch and
That's
PC
kinda
was
cool.
that one?
That's fucking awesome. I am so keen to play that game.
Yeah,
like,
looks
as somebody who loves like Hotline Miami,
Like
I love
side
Devolver Digital
scrolling
and stuff.
Hotline Miami.
It's.
Yeah.
I was just like, fucking sign me up. Like, slap my fucking name on that. You know.
Sure.
My name's Sean.
My friend Sean.
my friend Pedro Sean the second.
I'm gonna autograph this game, so it looks like I worked it.
They can kill me on stage next year. But yeah, so that was just like an awesome way to end it because it was like, oh hey, because obviously it was good to see Todd Howard like make fun of himself, and then they were like, all right, let's make fun of fucking everyone.
Oh yeah, they just
That was a
tore-
good like that didn't like it was
It just tore in everything.
And then the whole Dreamcast thing as well.
Yeah.
Bringing out the Devolver Digital Mini, and I was like, if it wasn't for the fact that we obviously knew it was a fucking Dreamcast, I would have been like, actually, I would pay a good.
especially after the coin thing. Then we go on the website and it's like, yeah, it's for sale. And then they're about to unveil this console. It's like, well, am I about to need to see if this is also on sale on their
Yeah, exactly.
website?
Like the coins definitely exist.
no.
Lootboxcoin.com, test it out. And yeah, like I was actually kind of excited because I was like, I love Devolver games. If there was a console with 25 Devolver games on it,
It's a little PC in a box. Just,
I would
just
fucking
powerful enough
I'd
to
buy
run all
it.
their
Hell yeah,
games.
like, that would be awesome.
Cool, weird collector's
oh
item.
look, the highlight's got to be the fact that the story continues next year.
Yeah,
it
There's
does.
like,
to be continued.
she's been rebooted.
Who knows? It might even continue this year. She just jump out in somebody else's E3 stage. and start killing
I
everybody.
just really wanted to come out with a really robotic voice, but hell, like aggressive, like even more
And
so.
she'll be hell aggressive.
Yeah, like even more so, like shake the, you know.
But yeah, so that was a good way to end the day, like of announcements and stuff like that. Which is
Yeah,
So-
that's
fun
entertaining.
and stuff. And
All right, well let's wrap up the video. Okay, so thus far from what we've seen from E3, what's your highlights? Start with you, Sean.
highlights.
What's your highlight? Like, what if you had to say the one thing that you were like, yep, that's caught my attention.
It's tough because like there's been so many like I said, like a lot of the indie shit like they've just announced so far, like all the small like Cuphead stuff, like everything like that is really. But then like I actually do have to say like Fallout, out of everything, I was probably went in really low expectations.
Yeah,
for that.
I would have gone into it saying if there is a Life is Strange announcement, obviously that's going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Didn't expect Fallout 76 to have such a big
Yeah,
impact.
I would probably say that's probably the most exciting thing.
Kayla.
I'm kind of excited for Starfield. I hope
Yes,
that it's Space Harvest Moon.
10 years and we
Space
get to play it.
Harvest
It's only 10 years away.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
It's coming out on Xbox 164 or
Oh,
whatever.
damn it, I won't be able to afford
It's
it.
the one that you put in your fridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's coming out on your LG screen on your fridge.
I mean, we didn't really mention it, but when they showed the teaser for that, and then they showed the teaser for Elder Scrolls, just seeing that landscape on Elder Scrolls was like, holy fuck.
I was like,
if you didn't know, honest, yeah, but even forget that. Even if you didn't know that was on, like, say that just was a random piece of footage, you would assume that was real. It just looked realistic. Like, it looked like a realistic aerial shot.
Not only was it stunning, but they didn't need to use a lot of mountain terrain to cover, like that's how they make their open world the way it is, by disguising a lot of draw distance problems with huge mountains.
Yeah, which was like, that was just like, it was
more like
the huge kind of like that city, which was just like, it just glistened on the fucking, and then as it panned back over all the trees and like over those hilly ranges, I was like, holy shit.
You can imagine just like almost like how nice The Witcher 3 looks as far as draw distances.
Yeah, 100%.
And like just standing and just like looking out, just how far you can see. Like that's probably the one downside to a lot of parts of Skyrim is you don't always get the sense of scale, even though it is huge. There's not many parts in Skyrim where you go, oh my god, this is massive. You just know because you've been walking forever.
Even looking at a Bethesda game is like, you never really do actively go, like, this is really pretty. Like, that was, I was watching, like, even Fallout, I was like, even if it wasn't like the landscapes looked gorgeous, but it was like, even like, and even the monsters and stuff, like, it was just like, looking at things, I was like, they just look so nice.
They've got a color palette.
Exactly. Oh my god! Did you guys just forget to turn the contrast on for the last 10 years? Like,
yeah, the trees are dead but haven't collapsed yet.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, it was such a gorgeous, like, and so I will have to say that, like Todd Howard in general, I think just everything he spoke about for E3
he did well.
Was just like, he's owning the show this year. So
true.
Yeah, from my perspective, and as I said, for someone who doesn't like Fallout, that was way above anything I expected. So yeah, everything you've said I fully agree with. The other thing is, even though they showed nothing, I can't help but be excited for Battletoads. I played the shit out of the original game, so and because it's co-op, because it's gonna be co-op, so I'm actually really excited for that. It's just nostalgia for me. I can't.
I'm excited. I think it'll be good.
But no, Fallout's just, I'm so fucking blown away by what that's gonna be. So yeah. All right, well, I think that's pretty much our wrap up at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, so
what does that look? Well,
Fallout Shelter was one of my highlights.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, haven't you? Did I skip you?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for him to get to you, and I was like,
sorry, Matt.
We're done.
Fallout Shelter.
We're done. Cut the stream.
Bethesda as a whole was surprisingly my favorite conference.
Yeah, I was gonna say thus far, Bethesda's probably been
Fallout 76 awesome. Gonna play Fallout Shelter tonight, and 2 weeks until a free episode of Life is Strange. So
what more could you want?
Pretty keen.
What more could you want?
We won't have the internet then, but I will find a way to download it. And
you can always come to my house and download it, man.
So
I'll just download it and everything. I'll bring all my consoles.
Yeah, please.
Alright, I'm gonna do the boring. I'm gonna do the boring little social media thing. Actually, I'll just put a thing down the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
subscribe.
Touch Kayla's face for a good prize. There you go. Look, you just got a
random video.
So yeah, and we will be doing day 2. So what's tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Oh, in their time, in the actual time where in Los Angeles. So tomorrow we've got Square Enix.
Then it's
Ubisoft,
then it's PC gaming show,
and then Sony,
and then Sony, and then Nintendo's is
Wednesday. We'll probably have a separate video for Nintendo, and we'll do a combined one.
So we'll do a combined one for Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Sony, and then we'll do a and the PC stuff if we find anything if there's anything interesting. And then obviously we'll do a Nintendo wrap up as our third video for our E3 coverage. So
yes, we will actively wrap the
whole lot in a nice neat package.
Oh no, I was speaking like the sup, my dudes.
That kind of wrap. We're gonna wrap.
When
Sean's
promising. Maddie go and watch it on TV.
Sean's
there you go. That's such a taste. I'll actively write down a little rap about the Nintendo conference.
And end of the Nintendo conference, Sean's gonna rap. It's a
Okay.
promise. It's guaranteed.
God.
Oh, we're doing Parappa the Rapper style, so it's not quite rap. It's just kind of uncomfortable singing.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
We kept it under an hour.
Thank you, kind sir.